Hello, I'm Matt. Welcome to Cask Theology, a channel about theology and beer, and today we're discussing polytheism. So, if you have a drink, let's dive in. So, first off, the word polytheism. It's another mashup of some ancient Greek words. In one of my first videos, we learned that theism means God or gods, and in this word, the poly bit means many, so the word translates roughly as many gods. In the last episode about animism, we learned some of the basis of polytheism, that invisible spirits dwell in living beings and in nature, control such things such as rain or disease, but polytheism takes it to the next level and assumes that just like in the natural world, with its hierarchy of the food chain and so on, the spiritual realms must also have their pecking order, and the ones at the top are no mere spirits or created beings, but the creators themselves, also known as the gods. Now, each one of these gods will have some sort of large sphere of influence over the natural or spiritual realms, and they tend to be the masters of concepts or the top dog of a specific natural phenomenon, say the god of war, or of love, or of time. So, for instance, rather than just being in charge of rivers, the water god will be in charge of all things to do with water, including the spirits and creatures that reside within that sphere. As I mentioned, these gods are often responsible for the creation of such spheres as well, so in the case of our water god, it would have made all the oceans, lakes and rivers somehow, and populated them with all these beasties and spirits. The number of gods in a polytheistic religion can vary, with the lowest number of gods being 2, and there not really being any upper limit. One thing these gods all share is conflict in relation to each other by either their sphere of influence, i.e. love and war, or they have some sort of family tie, such as brother and sister, husband or wife. Conflict between these beings can often be the beginnings of origin stories for how things came to be, such as how the earth was formed, or how humans came to be, or why leopards have got spots, or whatever. The interactions of these divine beings often spill out into the world of men to cause either good or bad stuff. So, as with animism, you have to learn who not to annoy and who to keep happy, so various priesthoods sprung up for individual gods. So, if you want good crops, you go and visit the priest of the god of land or of agriculture and find out what to do that will make them favour you. If you're at war with a local tribe, then you visit the priest of the god of war and he'll tell you what to do to snag victory, and so on and so forth. The god most relevant to your culture tended to be your chosen or patron deity, such as the god of the sea being a big deal for fishermen, and the god of learning being the patron of scholars, and you get the idea. So, while all of them are revered, you kind of pick your favourite for your needs. There is, of course, a bit of an overlap with animism, so in some polytheistic religions you see sun gods and moon gods and gods of natural stuff like air and water, but they do tend to stand alongside the recognised collections of culture's gods with the rest of them. Or, if the culture's collection of gods or pantheon is small, they could be the top dogs. So, let's have some examples of polytheism then. Well, you've probably heard of them. The Roman Empire was very polytheistic, having many gods, as were the Greeks before them. Other favourite polytheists are the Vikings and the Nordic peoples, and again, ancient pagan religions had a polytheistic view on things, so yeah, chances are you know about a polytheistic religion already. So, where do we see it today? Well, there's a few big groups that fall into the polytheistic group. From India, we have Hinduism, which isn't really one unified religion, but the one thing that is consistent is that it's got many deities. Again, modern paganism gets a mention, and religions such as Wicca are polytheistic. Wicca's an example of only having 2 deities. There are some folk religions that are polytheistic, such as folk Catholics, and then moving to the east again, we've got Buddhism and Shinto. Now, Buddhism is generally regarded as non-theistic, that is, not having a god and such, but like Hinduism, it's not one big unified thing, and it's absorbed some of the older folk beliefs and generated new ones over time, including many gods. Shinto, of course, is the religion of Japan, which has also crossed into Buddhism in places to create a merger of beliefs, and Shinto is almost kind of like an animistic polytheism, but I'll deal with that in another episode. Of course, later on I'll be doing introductions to all of these, but since this is just a brief look on the subject, I think that will suffice for now. So there you have it. Polytheism essentially describes a religion that worships one or more deity. In the next episode, I'll be whittling down the number of gods even further as I briefly explain monotheism. So thanks for watching this brief explanation of polytheism. If you want more of this stuff, then do all the like and share and subscribey things, and as always, links to some books and stuff that you could read are down below. So until next time, grab yourself a drink and keep asking questions.